Audience, they have been here since the start of the day, and I really appreciate all of you guys for sticking with us throughout. We've seen some banger games today, and we have yet another amazing game on our hands.
You know what? At this point in time, I've had a huge emotional connection with the YouTube chat, man. We've been through a lot of thick and thins, a lot of ups and downs. And we're finally here, ladies and gentlemen. These are the upper bracket semifinals to find out who's going to be able to solidify that slot in the grand finals of the playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the players moving outside, and every single player is looking pretty stacked up. True Rippers, on the other hand, though, oh, we saw them praying a little bit. All right, Techno. I mean, Techno is one of those players. As I said, man, like, no matter how much I try to speak about any of these players, it's just going to be less. These guys are really good. That's all I can say.
Here, I'm waiting for Aziz. While we've discussed how deadly Rafu can be, Aziz is the kind of man who has been on top of the charts. He is the #1 player in the tournament so far based on statistics.
Wimp and Aziz, I mean, Aziz, I miss his fracture play, especially on that Neon. We got to see it like one time, I think so, and it was against Lethal Esports, and with the way this man performed, it was just remarkable. On the other hand, we've got the final 2 players on the board as well, and now we're finally going to get the coaches. So I'm really excited for this matchup. You can already hear the cheers on the crowd as well. And OG, they definitely do have a lot of fan base, but even True Rippers, their fan base has been there inside the arena since the day one. They have been supporting True Rippers no matter what sort of up and down these guys are seeing. They're always there. This matchup is going to be quite pumped up, Crips, and soon enough we're going to move on forward towards the map veto.
And that's the thing about having a live audience in one of these arenas, you know? OG fans are so loud. When they start going, who, OG, it becomes impossible to hear things around you. Really, for all of you people who are in Delhi, head over to this arena. In fact, participate in the contests that are being held on the NODWIN Gaming social handles. You have a chance of winning the tickets. And in case you happen to go to the arena on one of the days where OG is playing, man, the vibes are electric. The amount of energy that the OG supporters have, it's unreal. And the amount of support they show is super, super cool. I think the only other team that can kind of go up with them toe-to-toe in terms of cheering and making noise is Global Esports. Then again, they're not in this league, are they?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. So I think so. Next to OG inside this league definitely has to be True Rippers, because they've also got a lot of people who sit in the back and try to cheer for them. So this matchup is perfect. It's like a date with destiny, and these guys are definitely having a lot of talks because they know what's on the stake. And just to let you guys know, once again, I'm gonna keep on pressuring on this point. We're here to find out who's going to move up forward and get their slot solidified in the grand finals of Split 1. On the other hand, whichever team loses it out, it's not going to be a huge upset for them because they will be thrown down to the lower brackets against God's Reign. So they will still have another chance. But still, who would want to face a team like God's Reign? They have been looking pretty bloodthirsty.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's the upper bracket finale. One of these teams will move ahead into the grand finals. The other one will go down into the lower bracket against God's Reign. And it all comes down to the map veto. They all have their strengths. They all have their weaknesses. Let's see what the pick is. A fracture ban, not a surprise. Not a lot of teams are comfortable on this one. Same goes with Lotus. What's going to be the pick, though?
Pearl. Ooh, we're gonna kick things off with Pearl, and True Rippers is the one who selected it. Now look, I know I've been saying that True Rippers' Pearl is quite solid. They have been looking undefeatable, especially in the group stages, but since they played that Pearl against Velocity Gaming, definitely a lot of cracks in the walls have been exploited by Velocity Gaming, because it was quite a one-sided affair on the map of Pearl where we saw True Rippers getting defeated. So there's a high chance OG has probably done their research, and they will probably try to use the similar strategy that VLT used to try and punish the players of True Rippers.
Icebox, I'm kind of nervous about this one. I mean, if True Rippers pick the standard meta composition, and let's be honest, not a lot of teams innovate on Icebox all that much. Most of the meta composition have been revolving around the Killjoy Sage. The best variation we've seen so far, which is actually successful, is the Harbor Viper composition. Apart from that, a lot of the variations that we see teams do on Icebox don't often result in a lot of success. So, if True Rippers pick up the standard meta compositions, then I think they actually have a chance. But if they're gonna stick to Phoenix and Reyna and all that kind of stuff, yeah, then good luck to them.
Exactly, man. That's my nightmare. If I see Reyna right there on Icebox, I'm already going to start praying for them, because they definitely do need those. Soon enough, the players are going to get ready. We've got the Asian select in front of us, and Tesseract's going to go for the Fade. It's quite interesting. I mean, it's completely a known character inside the map of Pearl. I like the Fade pick personally. Huge fan of her on the map of Pearl. On the other hand, I mean, we're going to be seeing nothing changed from the side of True Rippers. They're going to go for a double controller as always. It's going to be Astra and that Viper composition.
Alright, this actually is quite nice. A Sky on Web. This should help them get a lot of those flashes and information in play. But for the most part, I feel like because the composition that True Rippers have over here, it won't give them as much information as OG's lineup can give them. So, yeah, let's see how OG decide to put their composition difference to use. The whole fact that Tesseract is on Fade and Aziz is on KO gives them a lot of information which they will need to proactively play with. If OG are not proactive enough based on the information they gather, then it doesn't make sense to have that.
Okay, interesting. So the last time when we saw True Rippers play on this exact map, Argue was not playing Viper. Instead, he was the one playing the Astro role, and Techno was the one playing Fade. But this time we're seeing a huge change up, a huge switch up from their side. They've got one Initiator, one Sentinel, and two controllers. So this is a huge change coming up from them. I really want to see how these players are going to be adapting to those roles, especially on this map, considering OG are going to kick things off with defense.
True Rippers have creeped up towards the mountain quickly enough, but instantly lose two players. Roful and Aziz very sharp timing found by RU. Even Techno's able to open things up towards the B side, but it's still not enough. Aziz and Roful step up and hold the spike. RU, who made his presence known towards B-Link earlier on, has to now go all the way around. I kind of don't like the fact that RVK is playing away from Roful. They've got the spike into their control, and now that RU's been spotted, RVK will join him. They both will play.
I was so scared. I was so scared for Roful. He was so exposed on that long angle. But if RU would have managed to find that dink on the player in the front, then things could have been falling apart. Roful eventually manages to connect his shots, and finally OG, they will start off with a banger round in their hands. Great way to kick things off, but still, that was way too close for comfort. Things could have went any way. If we take a look at the replay, on this side, it was so chaotic. Kills just started happening back and forth on the board.
One enemy remaining.
You can see how they time their peak, right? Both of them just creeping closer and closer. RBK getting nearer to the fridge. Roful already holding his position, and then they just go 3, 2, 1, peek him at the same time. That's the kind of peaks that OG will have to give True Rippers. And True Rippers, to some extent, should see this coming. I already pointed out that OG are the kind of team that will never miss a trade. They will never overextend and give away these 1v1s, and that's basically the core strength of Orangutan. Unlike True Rippers, who love to innovate and bring new stuff that will surprise their opponent, OG are a fairly based in ground, you know, very reality-based team. They don't try something too wild. But that's the fact. They don't need to.
Yeah, exactly. Because the players are just able to win the duels straight up. Like, it's really hard. You rarely see one of those OG players just losing out head-on-head duels. Because so far, I mean, even Tesseract, if you talk about that guy. He's an initiator main, but Tesseract is one of those people that can definitely be quite a good player, even if you are going to put him on the duelist, because his aim is just so cracked. Every single time whenever you see Tesseract on a screen, you know this man's going to at least take 1 or 2 guys away with him.
Yeah, that's true. And that's just Tesseract. He's not even the tip of the spear. Aziz is the guy who everyone needs to watch out for. Meanwhile, we completely forget about one man who can always make a difference, and that's RPK. At the start of the tournament, he skipped out on a couple of matches because he had an ear infection. And that's not his fault. We did get to see Levi in his place, and Levi was also a very cracked player. So I love the fact that OG have so many of these talented players in their roster that even their 6th man seems like a very good guy. And now that you've got RPK, the main guy, back, it's even better.
Yeah, but you know what? I really want to see Levi back in action once again, because I feel like that guy has so much potential.
Definitely.
He showed that in the past, but Tesseract was able to get away with a quick kill on the mid. Rafiel as well will be greeted 1. Wimp was the man who falls down this time. Kaizen pushing up quite deep. He's only got a Marshall in the hand. True Rippers, they're not going to be able to find a lot of stuff. They're getting picked off one after the other. Kaizen in the clotheslines. Antidote's just waiting for him to crawl in his crosshairs. And as soon as he does, he will shut him down.
Oh,
yeah,
I should stop
quite a clean round. True Rippers try spreading out over quite a lot of area. In fact, I don't even blame them. On paper, True Rippers stuck together, but when OG members are just mercilessly getting away with murder and cold blood, what can you even do?
One enemy remaining.
Another thing about True Rippers is that they don't really go for these force buys, you know? In the previous game, when God's Reign was facing ASTER, we saw ASTER force up every second round, regardless of whether they win the pistol or not.
We just saw them not force, I think so, on one of those halves. But then most of those, they were just forcing it over again. Look at this pick from Kaizen. Good pick. This is exactly what I'm talking about. OG, they're not scared to peek out. And that's what they did once again. But this time, they met the makers. They're really confident in their individual fragging power. But this time, it just didn't work out. And True Rippers, they proved that even they're quite good in their fragging. Another man taken down in the close quarters. This time, Antidote's going to be the one to put to sleep. KJ lost. That's some huge amount of utilities lost as well, and that means there's a high probability that a lot of map control can be taken away from True Rippers.
Yeah, that's exactly what surprises me. Tesseract and Antidote wouldn't usually do this. I mean, Tesseract kind of peeked out by himself after he used his haunt, and then Antidote does the same. I mean,
he did the same last round too.
Yeah, if it was Rafiel who made the peak, I would have been okay with it, but now that there's no Killjoy, look at the amount of map control that True Rippers can get without even trying. Things offline, hearts offline, and now that the actual B side is being hit, Rafiel has no choice but to fall back and relinquish this area.
Yeah, they've only got RBK. He can try and make this retake possible, but a really good fragment from Aziz. He's going to be able to find the man who was trying to go for the plant. Still, the spike's not planted out. 20 seconds left on the clock. Eventually, we'll get the spike planted. There's 3 players towards Elbow, and then one last man towards the box who's got the plant down. RVK is trying to find some Sheriff headshots. This man is the Sheriff criminal. Let's see if he's going to be able to find those. And yes, he does. Gets the first, but the second one will be denied. Techno puts the nail in the coffin. And last man to be alive is going to be in the name of Rafiel. But even he gets caught while investigating.
That's okay. He gets 1 kill, dies after that. So now he has his Blade Storm available. And he's also got the AWP. Okay, now the danger bells will start to ring for True Rippers. They've been able to get quite a lot of opening picks this round, especially on Antidote and Tesseract, but I would love to see True Rippers try the same now.
I mean, are we going to be seeing that early aggression once again? No. Look, this time they're playing the arts control completely off of that turret contact. I like that adjustment.
Yeah.
They're going to let go off of that double doors control. They're going to pretty much just let the alarm bot play its trick. And they've also given away the arts control. I like this quick adjustments, and there's 3 players stacking towards the A side. They sort of do have a little bit of read on what exactly True Rippers will try to pull off here. Because if you've noticed, in their previous maps as well, in their previous matches overall, they really do prefer that A control overall. They try to go towards arts. So I like this quick adjustment from OG, and that's what is panning out so far in their way.
True Rippers didn't need to go for secret control yet. But then again, I can understand why they didn't go for the spike plant right away. The nanoswarms were in the way. And because Rafuel has already pushed up towards B main, and since he doesn't see anyone, it's kind of obvious that True Rippers are going to come towards the A main region. That's why OG was able to get that triple stack into place. Turret's been deactivated, but this now triggers the nanoswarm. A lot of time being wasted on behalf of True Rippers. And Aziz is just feeling himself. This guy is able to get kills without even seeing his opponents.
Nicely done. OG. What a quick round in the books for them. But yeah, I like that quick adjustment from their side, right? Imagine the amount of map control that KJ was holding onto. She had the control of arts. At the same time, she had the control of double doors. And she herself was playing in connector. The amount of map control that one single sentinel can bring you. It's impressive, right?
Yeah. Antidote has a vice grip of this entire mid-region. And a little extension of his pinky finger towards the A side in case things start going south. This time again, Killjoy setup changed. The turret's playing towards heaven. Even though Rafuel is holding screen, I'm assuming what he's going to do is try to get up on top of it, try to get the elevation. Once he takes a shot, he's going to fall back, and then he will play off of the turret contact. And Antidote will spring his nanoswarms to delay the push. Meanwhile, he himself is playing towards B-Link, which he has done in the past. Alarm bot doesn't change, but the rest of the setup does. True Rippers, this time if they try to go towards the A side, they will be met with significantly lesser resistance. I mean, last time you saw that they couldn't go for the spike plant right away. That's why they tried going around it, you know. They don't want to fall back because they worked so hard to acquire that much map control.
Yeah.
So when the nanoswarms are popped, they didn't try to fall back. Instead, they try to go towards Dagout, hopefully get some secret control, which on paper would have made their life easier in the post plant. But you see, most of the teams only go towards secret if they are lacking members or if they are lacking utilities, which will be detrimental for them in the post plant. If it's still a 5v5, if everything's equal, then they don't really need all that much secret control.
And just to let you know, the composition that OG is currently using inside this matchup was a similar composition that True Rippers used against VLT. That means there's a high chance, there's a really high chance True Rippers probably know the way around this composition too, because they've played it themselves.
Yeah, that's a good observation. They're using the composition that was used by True Rippers once, you know, kind of use their own medicine against them. But because Wimp has those extra flashes, he can probably use them to pop out of the Viper's toxin screen that Alu has set up. And this time, it's towards B. But the spike is still on A, so True Rippers are hoping to distract OG by virtue of this Viper wall. I don't think OG is going to fall prey to that.
That is just so brilliant. I don't know if he meant to do that, or maybe he just wanted to find the pick, but as soon as Kaizen updrafted, the turret shot, then instantly we saw a utility being placed, the Astral Star, towards the arts area. So that's quite interesting. At least it was able to get that utility being placed, or maybe you can also say baited out. But Kaizen now is finally going to start a move one towards the side. Unfortunately, the light on the way is going to be blocking his vision and also his pathway. But still, True Rippers, they start to stroll on the site. Good shots from Techno. Way to find those kills. And True Rippers, they start to dominate the site once again. Are you able to get 2 quick kills? Those massive kills on the site, and now Rafuel being forced on a complete save. What a way to take the site control. It's a thrifty round.
Yeah, and that too by brute force. It's not like True Rippers did something completely out of the box. Yes, the turret contact towards mid did pull a little bit of extra utility from OG, but it's not like it was misplaced. The smoke should have been able to hold back the True Rippers members as they were coming out of art, but they ignore the smoke, go on top of it, and then Techno delivers 2 crisp shots. Aryu recovers the weapon that was dropped, and he continues what Techno started. Now they can steal the weapons again and skedaddle out of here.
Yeah, this is just brilliant. True Rippers, I mean, this is their classic 1-on-1 strat. As you said, it's not even like something they pulled out of their hat. No, it's their classic strat. Take the arts control, move forward, send a couple of men towards the main as well, and that's what they did. But this time it just worked out perfectly. They took their sweet little time to gather some sort of info to find out exactly how stuff is looking like. He knew that the cage of turrets placed over there. So I think the main reason why he did so and why they made that arts push happen is because they knew in the previous round that only KJ is the one holding off even the double doors and also the arts area. So they thought, okay, it's only KJ playing over there, so we might as well can take the arts control quite easily. That's why they straight up started to move towards art, but then the fade was a surprise, but they still managed to kill that fade. So nice, good adjustments.
Amazing adjustment, actually. The fade got bamboozled, but then again, you also have to give credit where it's due to Techno. That guy had some nutty shots. And every now and then, you start seeing rounds like these where something so simple triggers the impossible. Most of the time, it will be because True Rippers are a very innovative team. But every now and then, it's just clicking mouse 1.
So now OG know they cannot just let the KJ play on that arts area because it can be taken over quite easily. Last time, the fade was there, but she was just not prepared to fight the arts area because she was too busy fighting main. So... there's a lot of pressure over here, man. The fade will need to try and keep her eyes even towards our peeled up. And that's what you see. Look, you can look where Aziz is playing now. He's playing towards double doors. You see, there's heavy presence towards mid now.
Yeah.
It's switch up.
I mean, in that last round, the Fade did try to use the Siege in order to stop the arch push, but that only delays them for a moment.
Yeah.
True Rippers once again going towards A main. They've been using this area quite often. And OG have been giving it up. They don't contest A main, they just try to hold the crossfires on the A site itself. They surely use the Astra Stars to delay them as much as they can, but now RVK is down to his last star. So he needs to use that judiciously.
Oh, OG, they started flow up. There was a flash to back it up, and Tesseract was able to find 2 of his own, but still the traits aren't going to be exactly on the mark for the opponents. Good 0 point to find out how many rest of the players are towards main, and he got information for 2 of those. True Rippers, considering 2 of the players have been scanned up. Seekers being initiated as well from the side of True Rippers. OG, they will now need to try and play things a little passive. AZ's position capitalized, and Antidote peeks out, manages to get Wimp. It's a massive frag out of the player. Try to go for a spam, but a little too late. RU already got the plant down, and now the post plant begins. It's a 2-on-3 scenario. 2 Rippers, they managed to bounce back and disrupt. Those shots are indeed quite incredible. And now last man to go in the name of Rawfield, but he's got the operator in the hand. Straight up dashes away to the Vandal, gets it in his hands, but only got 4 bullets, and are you in an expected angle? So exactly, let me tell you what happened over there, Crips. So considering OG realized when Kazan up drafted, he knew that there's a turret and all that stuff, so he knew that only Cage is holding over there. That's why they went for the arts control. So this time, OG, they made a huge switch up. They sent the Killjoy to the B side, so that sort of stuff cannot be pulled out once again. So they sort of wanted to surprise True Rippers, which you can say worked out and not worked out too, but True Rippers were just so stubborn because they wanted to hit side over and over again. They just didn't care.
Exactly. True Rippers have been quite adamant on hitting the A site, and as soon as OG recognized that, they tried to make a flash play. It did get them 2 kills, but not the round. Oh no, Rawfield almost saw his death flash before his eyes. Blades expended, and no value found out of it. He will have to go ahead and regroup with the rest of his teammates. Lockdown placed. Antidote has a little corner which doesn't get covered, but he continues to stay over here, and he's hoping to get as many kills as he can before he either dies or gets detained, and he's done his job well enough so far.
Rack was able to get 1, and this is where the trades will now start to hit the mark once again, but in the favor of True Rippers. OG. Rawfield's going to try to fall back, considering he only had a Blade Storm in the hand, and even the Blade Storms are it's completely wasted. He wasn't really able to find the value with that. True Rippers, they now have a huge advantage, considering Rawfield only's got a classic in the hand. Techno will shut down the man in the front. Rawfield, the only glimmer of hope alive, and he cannot even do much because he's got a snake bite right on his feet.
True Rippers had some very quick adjustments this time. What a pace to change up. The B side was hit lightning fast. And most of the times when True Rippers have had these successful rounds, at least on the A side, you see them try to take control of A main first, flirt with the idea of going art a little, and then hit the A side after everyone's in position. But over here, it was just right off the bat. They start running down. Rafuel, I was so scared because when he first peeked, he saw like 3 people. And I thought surely one of them kills him. Still, it was still fine.
But at least they were able to burn through his Blade Storm, right?
Yeah.
Managing to bait out so many blades. Because that is one of those ultimates that can be a huge kryptonite to any sort of pushes, because it gives you so much mobility at the same time while doing so you can be accurate. OG, as they haven't really given away the map control just yet. Antidote is still in the elbow area in the back lines, playing things a little safe and sound. He's not going to push up. He's not going to be a little too stubborn in that moment. But as soon as he does, Disrupt beats him. Rafuel, on the other hand, his operator is now going to start to strike down the players and AZs. What a quick adjustment. Techno taken away.
OG rotated the B side quite quickly, and the delaying utility that was placed by them was also on point. They used all the Astra Stars to create a wall of smokes, which True Rippers had to then flash out to get inside of. And while they did that, and while they got a lot of opening picks, Rafuel was still undiscovered. There was a gap which is always present towards that CT region, towards the defender spawn entrance. True Rippers never place a smoke over there. And Rafuel was using exactly that gap to snipe away at them. Plus, when they discovered that Rafuel still has that opening, it's going to be difficult for True Rippers to plant near the orange box, which is, I think that was the place they were trying to go to. They can't afford to go for a fridge plant because then they won't be able to defend it from B long. And in the process of crossing that region, that treacherous little gap, they also did not account for Aziz peeking out of B link.
I mean, for now, things are tied up. And it's a timeout from True Rippers, because they realize OG being able to capitalize on that lead. Now, definitely we need to try and figure some stuff out. The coach was having some laughs, so that means True Rippers, they're in a great mindset. Definitely a mindset they should be. So that's a good news. Let's move forward and see what sort of quick adjustments we're going to be seeing. But that operator in the hands of Rafuel is so far proven out to be a huge problem for True Rippers.
Knife deployed.
2 massive ultimates available.
One suppressed.
You've got the lockdown on Antidote and the Cosmic Divide on Techno. This Viper Wall has been slightly adjusted to cover the B-Link area a little bit more, but I'm curious if True Rippers use the Cosmic Divide right here. Oh, no, they don't. Even the smoke setups have changed. They don't smoke B-Link. Instead, they fight B-Link, and Antidote makes them regret it right off the bat. Can they break the lockdown? Yes, they can. Meanwhile, the flank from mid is already in the play. And this pushes Disrupt all the way back to its A main once again. The Cosmic Divide is now used not to get them entries, but to just keep the defenders at bay.
Yeah. And the flank is still activated, though. RVK is still on the flank. His position's known. Probably it's known that RVK is going to try to close up for the back lines. But look at what's happening over here. True Rippers. Oh, things are just crumbling down now, and we're down to a 3-on-3 scenario. Rafuel has got the shorty in the hands. Try to find someone, but OG, they're still able to get away with these kills somehow. They're able to get away with some blood in their hands, and now it's all down to Wimp. The Cosmic Divide in the front, pulling out anything's going to be way too tough, and he will be taken care of. I mean, as I said, so far, man, that operator is a big hurdle for them.
Yeah, and it's not just the operator. Sometimes they get in their own way. True Rippers change up their setup this time. Usually, up until now, they've been smoking Heaven and they've been smoking B-Link. But instead of smoking B-Link in this round, they smoke the bottom of defender spawn. Why do they do that? Because Rafuel shut them down in a gruesome manner in the previous round. So to make sure they don't get opt out, they leave B-Link open, which then Antidote uses to punish them. And just when things were starting to go wrong, True Rippers used up their Cosmic Divide. What do OG do? They use the Cosmic Divide of their own, and that creates a multitude of angles which are so bizarre to clear. It all comes down to trading, and we've already established OG are the team that's better at trading and fundamentals.
Oh my god, they're expecting this push towards Arch. Look at how many players are there. Almost 4 players towards the Arch side, from which 3 of those are still in the front lines right there. True Rippers, they know whenever they're not looking that solid, on their economy. They usually try to push towards arts, and that's what
But
OG are now starting to capitalize. And look at this. AZ's wanted to peek out once again, and what they're doing is just setting Tesseract up for success.
But hold on, Kaizen's already on the flank. He's reached the B site, and the spike is already on the way. This should be a free plant for True Rippers. No contention over here.
Poison orb emitting. Toxin
Free
poisons off.
plan indeed. And considering they've also gotten rid of that alarm bot, now they definitely know that the B site's taken away, but still it's not going to be a huge
Spike
problem for
planted.
OG. Considering they know the opponent don't even have a lot of weapons in the hand to try and support him in the back, Kaizen's able to rotate all the way towards heaven. But just get surprised from the backline soon enough, while the rest of the players are True Rippers, or at least Disrupt is trying to get his hands on a gun. Kaizen is still on a prime spot. Eventually, the man on the lurk gets spotted, will be shut down, but Kaizen from the top,
Oh my God.
rains down hellfire.
Brutal. How do you deal with this? It's just down to Kaizen. Rock will shut down all his backup, and he will shut him down too.
Dude, this
Oh
all-
my lord, that was the scariest spray down I've seen in the league so far.
Just raining down death and destruction, man. That shrapnel, quite deadly indeed. Was able to pierce through the armors. Right here, just 3 players easily taken away, eating them alive. But then Rawfield's operator as well just strikes through. I'm telling you, man, this operator right here needs to be shut down somehow. They need to find a counter to that.
And they did try to find a counter, man. They just changed up their smoke setups, and it still wasn't enough. I think what the plan of True Rippers in this round was, they tried to send Kaizen towards B, hoping to either sell a fake or just set up a flank. But the original plan was to continue hitting Art. After they saw Rawfield's op over there, they were like, nope, maybe not. And then when the 0 point hit, they basically confirmed it that too many players are in this region. It would be wise to back away from here. And OG also predicting correctly where True Rippers would be, stacked up Art appropriately. Yes, it did leave a gap in the way. It left the B side open, which Kaizen exploited and got the spike plant with. But when OG's retakes are looking this sharp, why would they hesitate giving away some of these sites?
And just to let you know, the composition that OG is playing, it's going to help them out even more on the attack.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, they're going to be really deadly. If OG is able to establish a huge lead on defense right here, on attack, this team's going to be a menace. So you got to put a little bit of leash on this team if you can on the defensive round right here. Rawfield pushed up quite deep once again. This man is able to rack up a lot of information indeed. No one spotted so far. But his operator's still looking for that blood in the front. True Rippers, Wimp. And now the entire team of True Rippers pretty much is going to start a stack outside B main. But they're not peeking out just yet because they know there's always a man who's pushing out aggressive. Rawfield's position's compromised, and he's also going to be maybe stuck behind this pillar, but the wings are now going to be clipped, and Rawfield is not able to get away. Finally, they found a counter.
Yeah, but this it's still on the other side of this astral smoke wall. It can be recovered by OG. This lockdown won't let them recover it. But you can see how hesitant OG are to leave this region. They still want to continue fighting. Tesseract hoping for a suicide play.
30 seconds
Hoping
left.
he would be enough to take down multiple members, but that's just simply not the case. Antidote dives out of the smoke. Even Aziz follows up. And while he's good for one, Kaizen's backup is sufficient this time. It's all in the capable hands of RVK. And as he sets up the stars for success, can he shine through? Spike not planted yet, so he has a
10
narrow
seconds
window if he
left.
wants to deny it.
Spike planted.
Oh, RVK trying to sneak in like a sneaky assassin. Vandal in the hand. And he's got Kaizen to deal with a good shot, but the second man is way too close. And Tekno will take care of business.
Oh, he shouldn't have survived that first shot in the first place. I think it clipped him through the wall. That's how he survived. And I'm starting to notice a pattern over here. Sometimes it's Rockfuel, sometimes it's Antidote, and this time it was the Fade, Tesseract. Whenever there's a lockdown in play by True Rippers, OG don't completely abandon B sites. They don't leave the back halls empty. One of those players is gonna try to peek out and get as many kills as possible before he goes down. And that kind of a suicide play is hoping that it's basically the foundation that OG will be able to get a man advantage, but it's just simply not a consistent way of doing so. That's a big gamble.
I mean, still, finally, True Rippers, they're able to win a round, right? They go from terror to
Yeah.
fear to find that sweet relief. So,
My ult's ready.
yeah, considering finding that counter against the op, they were at least able to put some sort of, or at least assert some sort of fear in the hearts of OG now. And the B side, once again, it is. Everyone's going to stack up as usual, considering Kaizen's pushed up quite deep, too. They don't really need to worry about a lot of stuff. Kaizen's quite deep. But as soon as Kaizen tries to overextend towards the B site and tries to gather a little bit of more angle control, that's when he will be surprised. But Wimp will probably try to clear it out with this guiding light. That should force Rafael out of his position. And yes, Cosmic Divide utilized. Blade Storm being popped as well. Rafael in the sky was not able to get away with a kill, but he doesn't really have a lot of HP supporting him. The plant goes down, and now it's all down to the post plant. Rafael, the overextension from Kaizen, he was feeling a little bit too much.
Yeah, that definitely was a mistake. He had no reason to go beyond the Cosmic Divide, let alone the pit. But this Viper's pit might still get them the round, even though they don't have the man advantage. OG have to flood this area in, and they somehow managed to push the Viper away. The pit is down. RU has to relinquish this region.
Enemy remaining.
There's only one man who can make a difference, and he's Techno. Oh, but he's too late to the party, and there's way too much resistance on his shoulder. OG make this round work like a magic trick.
Really solid retake. Look at the amount of ultimates that was being used on the site to get that site control in the hands. Cosmic Divide used, Viper's Pit used, and still OG, they managed to win it out somehow. Ladies and gentlemen, 7-5 is the first half. Indeed, it's quite a close affair, but still, there is a little bit of cushioning available from the side of OG. They've got 2 rounds lead, which they can definitely try and solidify in the second half in the pistol round. But before we move on forward towards the second half, we're going to push to a short break.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Hit most of wings, I get it in.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Hit most of wings, I get it in.
Welcome back into the second half, ladies and gentlemen, where OG, they do have a little bit of lead for themselves, but definitely not a lead they can rely on. On the other hand, True Rippers, they've got 5 rounds secured. This pistol round can definitely be quite helpful if they can get it in their hands. Let's find out if they're going to be able to do so or not. So far, we're not really seeing a lot of stuff being done.
Concealment.
Just playing on the defaults. True Rippers being forced on to defense, so this composition they've got should definitely help them out. They've got 2 controllers, so on defense, indeed, it should be quite a good one. But OG's composition, too, on the attack, they should reward him heavily as well. They're starting to move up towards the arts area. 3 players stacked up. We've got a man like Rafael, Tesseract, and even Aziz holding the arts, while the rest 2 of them are going to start to move up towards the sewers. Interesting, they've already got the defender spawn control. Oh my god, what is OG doing here? They've found a huge gap in the defense of True Rippers. And soon enough, they're going to find a quick stroll on the side as well. True Rippers, their flank gets caught too. Kaizen was able to catch one man off guard all the way in the back lines. Tesseract thought that he definitely does have a surprise element, but True Rippers, to a certain extent, they're aware. But they also lose out on the A site. So definitely not a good news for them. Aziz is quite softened up from the side of OG. On the other hand, for True Rippers, Kaizen and RU are quite low. HP matters a lot in a pistol round. That can define a game-winning move or not. But let's see how much of a value Antidote's able to find from this corner spot. He was able to get the first one. Disrupt not able to get the refract onto the player. Off-field peeks out quite aggressively. Gets the man, and Antidote will seal the deal with a 3K. Nicely done. And it's going to sweep the last one under the rug. OG are definitely quite happy. Chance of Antidote in the crowd. I mean, you can take a look at this replay, too, from Antidote. Man's feeling himself. 3K to save the day for his team. And with the way OG were able to find that gapping in the defense of True Rippers, indeed it's quite interesting. You can tell that this team has definitely done their research on how exactly True Rippers likes to play their pistol rounds on the defending side. And now every single player is just stacked up towards the A main. But you can see quite a quick push, even from Wimp. He's pushed up quite deep towards mid. And it's just going to be a quick flood on the A side. The floodgates are open. They flood through on the side. They also get the side control. Getting back in the hands is going to be next to impossible, considering you've only got a Classic and Marshall in the hands.
This doesn't seem like a big of a threat. True Rippers, the only gun in the round. Marshall is going to get challenged now, and that too at the most unfortunate timing. So Tesseract can continue farming up the frags. 3 in the round already. 2 more, and he will be very close to his ultimate. That being said, I think the objective over here for OG should be just weapon conservation. True Rippers have positioned themselves towards the mouth of A main, hoping to get some exit frags, but OG can always just escape via CT entrance and even mid for that matter. And if they're feeling adventurous, Antidote can spray them down face first.
What a flawless round. It's just an eco. So yeah, it's expected. The flawless round will be there. But I understand why they're cheering so loud, because right next to them is also the True Rippers fan sitting over there. And you always gotta rub the salt on the wounds, right?
Yeah. That's OG's core belief, you know. That's their main philosophy upon which this whole foundation is built. The basics is not just the fact that OG can play well as a team, but also their supporters can make so much noise it demoralizes anyone over here. Not just the True Rippers supporters, but even the players. And I mean, I'm damn sure that no matter how good your noise cancelling headphones are, these OG fans can be loud enough to peer through them. Oh god. That's brutal. And you know, you're ripping everything apart. True Rippers have the superior guns, but finally those guns start to show what they're made of. Snakebite timing missed, so Antidote can still slip past. He's kind of isolated over here, and now the spike is dropped in a very awkward spot.
But look at the amount of map control OG had exactly. No matter what OG are able to do over here, True Rippers, they did try to put a little bit of counter in the front, but OG just had a lot of map control. And off of that, they're able to stroll away from the front. Managed to retrieve the spike in the hands, and now AZs will start to run away. While you do see the players of True Rippers trying to chase them down, but AZs will definitely win the race and beat him on the timing. Should get the spike plant down too, but what they don't exactly know is that Tesseract is still on the flank. Shift walking his way through. Yeah, it's really far away. Tesseract needs to start running soon enough because AZs might not be able to hold on for long.
At some point, he will have to start walking again. The only question is it going to be too soon? Will guys endure him? It doesn't matter. Aziz is more than enough. The flank was never needed.
And they convert a bonus round too, Crips. That means imagine the amount of money that's going to be stacked up in their banks.
Yeah. The opening frags that they were able to get itself is supreme. And on paper, OG had this round in the bag right from the start. The only thing that went wrong for them was that spike drop. If Antidote wasn't so far away from his teammates, this whole ordeal of going back towards the B side as a backup option would never even need to be exercised. But regardless, it really shows how strong OG are in these mid-round adjustments. And that's the fundamental difference between a team like True Rippers and OG. When we say that their balance and their basics are strong, it basically means that OG can adapt very quickly. True Rippers, on the other hand, they have some really innovative strats that they exercise at the start of the round, but their mid-round adjustments may or may not be as effective as OG's.
Coaches, man. I mean, OG's coaches definitely having a lot of words to talk. On the other hand, if you take a look at True Ripper's coach, he's not saying a lot at all. He's keeping his calm, taking a sip of that water, and I think so you guys should do the same as well. Keep yourself hydrated. But now, considering Antidote has got his hands on a lockdown, that should be a free side control. And the opponents are in eco as well. They've got Sheriffs in the hand, but I'm telling you, man, recently, these guys in Sheriff have been way more deadly.
That's true. I used to call RVK the Sheriff Master, but now I think everybody on OG is one. Kazin, looking to challenge him, which the very weapon that we mentioned. Instantly shut down. Not even a contest.
That setup from OG, man. The way they were holding that, it was a complete crossfire on a contact play. As soon as the first man found the contact, the second guy from the pillar peeked out. Nicely done.
Techno alone. All the members of True Rippers are so isolated right now, there's just no trading potential.
Yep.
Techno has a cool gun with which he can get one kill. Oh, not even that. The dink was there, but just simply not enough. Rawfield's head. Stronger today. He's sharper. Heading for more.
Ooh.
Finally, Aryu puts him in his grave. About time someone did that.
Last player standing.
Well, I mean, True Rippers, even though they were just able to find out that one kill, OG still say it's good. It's all good in the hood. It's completely fine. They were not even worried about it.
I'm kind of concerned though now. They're getting dangerously close to map point. That too on True Rippers map pick. Keep in mind that we've seen some wild stuff from True Rippers so far. Their pistol rounds are supposed to be amazing, but they have been somewhat lackluster so far. At least everything after the pistol round is a complete disaster. OG able to rack up 4 rounds in a row.
Placing sentry.
True Rippers are letting them rob them blind.
Hyperspeed is available in the hands of RU, so True Rippers can already lock down a site with that Hyperspeed and try to deny that. Okay, how is he able to win this duel? It's impossible. Disrupt fell asleep in that angle. Lost out that duel against Rawfield. Don't even exactly know how that was even possible, but still, we don't see those type of moments, especially with Disrupt at all. That's so uncharacteristics of that man. And now RU is the last man on the naughty list on this site, and he will be dealt with as well.
My bot.
Gets it out.
Spike planted.
Down to the front, gets shut down. Wimp just moving up forward. Cosmic Divide utilized too. And this is where the Cosmic Divide is quite interesting. It's understandable too. They just want to cut off the entire link control, but True Rippers can try to move in forward, and True Rippers are actually just going to go for a save. They're going to let him have the map point. Interesting. True Rippers, I guess they're really confident in overall their comeback abilities. And as I said, I mean, we all know True Rippers is... I mean, Pearl was one of the strongest maps of True Rippers until we saw Velocity play against them, and Velocity, they dominated True Rippers. And even now, it's the same outcome.
This must be a tough pill for them to swallow, to let OG get away with the map point. I mean, they're not even hunting for exit frags at this point. They know that OG has so much money that even if they take away the guns, it's not going to cause a dent in their economy. And now they have to win, what, 7 rounds in a row in order to make this comeback happen? Nearly impossible. At least the AWP is still alive for True Rippers, so maybe some glimmer of hope is still existent. The Viper Spit available too. There's bits and pieces of tools that True Rippers can utilize, but none of those tools is big enough to smack OG in the face.
Astro Stars dropped away.
Bring them down.
And OG should be able to stroll on forward. Probably used to try and clear the close angles, and they will be. AZ's on the other hand, though. Is going to start to move up close and personal. The entire team is now going to do that. OG, I mean, every single player is just posted up.
Run.
So where's that B main? There's only a turret watching the flank, so the flank's pretty much going to be there on the turret watch. While the lockdown's initiated, OG, they're not even going to try to go for anything new out of the box. They're just going to go for a basic lockdown execute. Use the lockdown to get this site control in the hand. Use the smokes to block off the main visual points for the defenders and get the spike plant down, and that's what OG did. And now here we go. The site control's in the hand. True Rippers, they're respecting their opponents a little bit too much, but they finally decide to strike.
Flash.
One flash on the other side. Luckily, nobody from OG peeks yet. It's going to keep True Rippers so paranoid about the potential peak keep coming. Eventually, this toxin screen will run out. They have to somehow get Audio into the site and get him to deploy this Viper Spit, but he's already dead, and the only hope that they had is now gone. Maybe Kaizen can keep the hope alive. Disrupt also strikes through. Wow! True Rippers force these fights, and they still win them.
My ult's ready.
Nicely done. Exactly what I was talking about, Crips. Respecting the opponents a little bit too much, and True Rippers this time, they're like, alright, we're done fighting with the rules. We're gonna fight it like a street fight.
Last player standing.
Sheesh. So convenient for them. These two nebulas that have been deployed. Techno uses them perfectly. Blocks out the vision. And they get to keep their Viper's spit. Aryu's even picked up a judge in this round, so I guess we know where the Viper's spit is gonna be. The cage setup is somewhat changed over here. Even though there's a Viper spit towards mid, there's a Nano Swarm over there as well, so I guess you can't be too careful about burning ground. Speaking of burning ground, the OG are covering it with a blistering base. Disrupt somehow gets away in the nick of time. There's no way he would have been able to hold over here. He would much rather concede the area. Play on the back and see this.
Wait, what is going on? They're just hitting the B man over and over again. They're also getting side control too. There were some couple of spams through the smoke, but as long as the side control is given away, the threat's always going to be on top of the heads of True Rippers. And now they've also popped the null command, so it's going to buy so much time. But this overheat from Tesseract, it actually works out in their favor. OG able to shut down those two players right off the bat, and now we've only got 3 players left over. Aryu has only got his hands on the judge. The judge will only work out in the close quarters. He manages to get a Vandal in the hand, so at least that's a good news for him. On the other hand, 4 players available from OG, and they're going to start a win out every single duel they take. And that's what exactly happens.
Orangutan defeat True Rippers on their own map pick. They dive to the depths of the ocean and take the pearl for themselves. With this, True Rippers now have to face a very difficult opponent on a very difficult map. Historically, Icebox has been a disaster for them.
Yeah.
How are they going to overcome these overwhelming odds?
I mean, for OG later on, it was just quite easy. A quick stroll on the B side. They realized B side is quite easy to contest. That's what they kept on doing. Just keep the pedal to the metal on the B side. W key all the way. It's not even that we saw anything out of the box. The turret was watching the flank while the rest of the players are moving up front. Use some basic smokes, those controller smokes, and pretty much get the side control and get the plant down and just play for the post plants. They have so much more utilities left over in the hands. Perfectly done, OG. Nothing else can be said. On the other hand, True Ripper still not able to capitalize on that. That's a huge question. As you said, Icebox have been quite shaky for the side of True Rippers from the past, so huge question marks on that. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Hit most of wins, I get it in.
I know my destiny.
go through so much tough times that eventually you become a Giga Chad. With that being said, welcome back YouTube audience to Valorant Challenger South Asia, driven by Hyundai and with our styling partner Philips One Blade. We're gonna move on forward towards this matchup of True Rippers and OG, where we're gonna play the map of Icebox. Soon enough, we are gonna deep dive inside it, and we talked about this basic composition, man. It's a mirror comp. Okay, True Rippers, they heard us.
Finally, True Rippers. No, actually, I kind of respected True Rippers when they were trying to go for those bold compositions. You know, they wanted to defy the meta. They wanted to steer away and deviate from the normal. Unfortunately, it's not up to them to decide the meta. It's just how Icebox is. And this mirror composition is something that 70% of all Icebox games look like. So I don't even think they should be ashamed of following the meta. It's just how the map is. But this changes the whole narrative, right? Up until now, we were saying that True Rippers look shaky on Icebox, partially because their composition was wild. Now that they're following the norm, now that they're following the meta, both of these teams are on the same level ground.
Speak about the same level of ground, we're seeing True Rippers start things off on the defense, yeah. Considering the composition is mirror. So OG should definitely know exactly how True Rippers are going to try to play it out, because all the research that they've done so far on True Rippers on the map of Icebox is going to be thrown away because it's a completely new comp. So they'll now need to adapt, and they're also going to be having a huge astonishing moment, maybe, if played properly by True Rippers. They've got a decent amount of utilities still stacked up in their hands. Not a lot of it has been used. Techno's position gets compromised. Techno thought he might just have a surprising angle, but knows the answer. Now they're getting pushed up quite deep, and OG, they keep on extending forward, and they also win every single duel they take.
True Rippers tried to play off of timing. They tried to capitalize on the window while the spike was being planted. It would have been a 4v5 because one guy's busy with the plant. They thought they could capitalize on it, but that's just simply not the case. Especially not when all the members of OG are firing on all cylinders. They're hitting their shots quite nicely, especially when Aziz is just tapping away, clicking so nicely. Quick flank from all the members of True Rippers. It still didn't pan out.
Yeah. OG, as always, they get the first round of the hands. And you gotta know the fact that how confident OG is in their duels and their probability of winning those duels too. It's just crazy. And when a team is really confident on their basic mechanics, it's tough to take them down and out-aim them overall. Ralphio, already off to a fiery start as Kazan has lost out on his life. Interesting stuff. I don't exactly know what Kazan tried to pull off there, but yeah, he got taken away quite easily. He tried to go a little too aggressive and met with his fate.
Kazan's already down. And yet, most of True Rippers are still stacked up towards the A site. Techno doesn't have much hopes of defending this region. The best that he can do is use the snake bites to delay the plant. Hope to buy his team some time. Oh, a brave push out.
Down B.
Hey, you gotta try it.
Spike planted.
I like that. I like the fact that he actually went for it. And considering now True Rippers, even though they are just an eco, they're still making it hard for OG. They're not going to make it look that easy to take it away from them. The classics in the long range, indeed, it's going to be way too difficult to try and make him strike. But let's see how they're going to make him strike now. Considering they have the only things to work is going to be classics, but AZs in the close quarters will shut all of them down. Easily wrapped up, and OG another round in the books for them as the supporters, they start to cheer once again.
It was a brave attempt by Techno. I won't deny that.
Enemy remaining.
And the problem over here is, now that he's done it, OG are always going to give a lot more seriousness to that barrier rob. They didn't post it up this round because they thought, it's fine, True Rippers, they don't have weapons, they can't shoot us down anyway. And because they don't have automatic rifles, they can't spam through that toxin tree and kill the plant, right? So that's probably why they didn't use the barrier rob. Very aggressive angle from Kazan. Instantly dashes back to the opportunity. But now that OG have covered the distance, these Spectres can actually start to sing the songs of death. They're actually going towards the right-hand side. This is very cool. Rockfield trying to wrap around from an angle which RU is not prepared to defend, and then Antidote follows up.
Yeah. It's a domino effect. As soon as the
planted.
first man falls down, True Rippers, the rest of the team as well starts to crumble. All the players capitalized upon. RVK with only Sheriff in the hand. Tesseract has got his hands on the Vandal. Nice way to shut the man down in the front lines. Disrupt. He's able to at least nullify anything or any sort of threat. Man advantage was there. But look at Tesseract in the close quarters. Has managed to take a lot of damage or deal a lot of damage on the opponent. And eventually Antidote capitalizes. He will win the round for his team. And they've also managed to win the bonus round. That means they're going to have a lot of money stacked up now.
Oh, a lot of money stacked up. Quite a lot of rounds taken in quick succession. And this little switch up, it wasn't a big change, you know. All they did was, instead of planting default and using the barrier orb, which most teams normally would, to protect the planter, they go towards screens and try to wrap around from there. So simple, but yet so elegant.
Oh, speak about simple. This is way too simple. I mean, AZ just straight up just dashes up from mid, gets a
Spike
kill.
down, B.
He's able to find a way, another one too. What is going on? OG, how are they able to run away with kills like
Player
this?
standing.
And OG, another one to follow it up. AZ single-handedly, this man is just causing chaos all across the map. Look at the amount of map control AZ is able to gain so far. Only on behalf of that Blade Storm. And Wimp knows he's the last man alive. He's the last one on the naughty list.
This time Santa's giving him no presents. It's Aziz, man. Instead of putting on a Santa cosplay, he just presses W and Q to get the elevation and get so many frags on the back of that Blade Storm. Disrupt finally, by virtue of dying so often, has now finally found up his lockdown. Techno 1 point away from the Viper's Pit. So True Rippers are starting to acquire their tools of power. But on the other hand, OG have acquired it, spent it, and capitalized on all the advantages that they've had so far to get this 4-0 lead. That's quite strong, and because a lot of their players are also staying alive, their economy starts to snowball out of control. It's starting to become a mountain that True Rippers will have to scale and climb. And each passing second, this mountain grows taller.
Finally, we're seeing a lot of talking being done, right? From the coach of True Rippers. But I like the fact that he's sitting back, relaxing, chilling, you know. He's having the time of his life coaching this team. But I'm pretty sure inside his head, he's fighting a lot of demons. Let's see how well his team's now able to retaliate back and make a comeback. Because OG, they've got a 4-0 lead. Definitely going to be tough to bounce back, considering now the opponents will also have a better mentality than you. Disrupt has got his hands on a lockdown. This should be a free retake if used properly.
They're already preparing for a recon dot from True Rippers to land in that area. Instead, True Rippers use the recon on mid. Don't spot anyone. OG have a nice stack towards the A side, and Tesseract opens things up. But at the same time, Antidote's trying to make contact towards B. He's gonna spot out Techno soon enough. Meanwhile, all his teammates are falling like flies on A, so OG have openings everywhere.
Toxins going up.
Spoiled for choice, OG have the ability to go anywhere they want. They've got the Jet and the Sova rushing in towards A. Whip's
player
not looking in the
standing.
right directions. They're getting picks everywhere. Is this deathmatch? Like, OG did not even play in a very coordinated way. They didn't even try to plant the spike. They just sort of went in and killed everyone. Couple of frags on A, one on mid, a couple on B, and the job is done just like that. Jason caught lacking. He was looking way too deep. Meanwhile, there's a guy right underneath him. Same with Wimp. He was expecting someone to peek out of elbow, but there's a guy on top of him.
Indeed.
This is gonna be fun.
Now they've got 2 ultimates stacked up, so again, they've got a lockdown and a Viper's Pit. But unfortunately for them, they haven't really got the superior weaponry for that. They're playing with the broken buys, and AZ's being able to run away with murder like this is definitely not forgivable. How are True Rippers not able to capitalize on this man? He's standing there with his chest wide open, and still no one's able to take him down. True Rippers, they're fearing this man. They're falling back. AZ's finally not really checking an angle, and he gets capitalized upon. Argu is able to shut him down. Argu finds a second one as well. OG, they're starting to overheat. They need to get himself back in control. It's understandable too. Yeah, you might be feeling the heat, but overheating is not a good news. Another one taken down, OG. It's now a 2-on-2 scenario. Aryu's way too low for comfort. Even Disrupt's tacked up quite a lot. Both the players are soften up, and OG, they do realize the opponents too are quite feeling themselves. So you cannot really go for a head-on-head collision. But still, RVK in the close quarters is not going to be feared of peek out. He does, and he also manages to capitalize and shut down any single player that stands up in front of him. The last man will be swept under the rug as well.
Okay then. I mean, I don't really blame Aziz for overextending over there. Audi was holding such a cheeky angle that most people would not check. Yeah, but then the follow-up frags from Disrupt, those really started to make things a little bit uncomfortable for OG. I was expecting...
This action was so weird. Like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the action in the previous round was so weird. It was on and off and on and off. You just didn't know when the action was gonna stop.
Yeah,
it was so confusing.
Exactly. Same over here, right? I mean, when you said that Aziz is standing there with his chest wide open, I was gonna say that's probably why they can't click his head. But now the moment they say that, Kaizen does click his head. Oh, nice follow-up from Wimp as well. They were just too busy trying to shut down Kaizen. They forgot that Wimp also is present over there. Resurrection comes through, but instantly another takedown is on the menu.
Oh, the Viper's Pit. Maybe he's going to be able to crawl away with this one. I'm a little scared. RVK has found a huge gap in the defense of True Rippers, and that Viper's Pit might just work against them. All this man advantage they were able to find,
he's hearing
it might just start to work against them, and yet they've got no clue that RVK is able to sneak all the way in the back. Look at the amount of map control and the amount of info this man is able to gather. He knows that there's Viper and another player available in the front. Target in the front. The trigger discipline comes into play. He gets 2 massive kills. Lockdown destroyed as well. They've got no clue that the man in the back is able to get so much value, and RVK will find the third one as well. Tables being flipped, and the round once again in the hands of OG.
This guy's a ghost. He no-clips his way through the map. And now the Viper's Pit has been deployed as well. True Ripper has had everything under control, but one little slip-up turns RVK into a ghost that cannot be seen, and when he finally strikes you, it will be too late to call the exorcist. Techno just blindly spraying, hoping to get lucky, hoping to catch somebody, but he will not be given anything. The trigger discipline on RVK, I have to give him my hat. I have to tip my hat to him. He must have been feeling that itch to pull the trigger so much, because he went over the Viper's Pit, then he heard the Sowa climb up over there, slip right past him, saw too many players at the same time, and then he waited for a lockdown to finally pull the trigger. His hands must have been itching this entire time.
Dude, I mean, this shot was nice, but as I said, all that advantage that was being found, it just got nullified. It just got taken away by that one single RVK play. He also got rid of that lockdown. That means the ultimate they had has been wasted as well. And that Viper's Pit that was supposed to work in the favor of True Rippers, it sort of worked against them.
Yeah, it was that Achilles heel.
Get out of my way. Here.
This time Aziz. It would have been Titanium. Wants to continue pushing onwards. Kaizen almost died. 2 blades connected, but no heal can come through. More fights being taking place, and Whip just overwhelmed, man. OG are running away with this map. They are robbing True Rippers blind. The one round where True Rippers thought they would have an advantage, even that slipped past them. And now a steady decline.
Poison orb emitting.
True Rippers, a 2-on-3 scenario where OG, they've got the refrags on the board so far. From the start of the game, they've been able to refrag no matter what sort of the moment is in front of them. And now we're down to a 1-on-1 scenario. OG, they almost could have thrown this away. Techno finds the last man available, and finally, True Rippers, they get a round in the hand, but still, you really ask yourself, was this their true potential? Was this what True Rippers is capable of? It all just came down to the left and right trades, and that too, the reason why they were also able to win, because OG were just straight up peeking out because they're feeling themselves. They're overheated right now.
I wouldn't even say that this is overheating. They're just so in the zone. They don't mind extending ahead. I mean, let's be honest. OG have pulled off way more wilder rounds. This round seemed like it was under control. So OG thought, yeah, we can continue pushing the envelope. They must have broken True Ripper's morale, so I wouldn't blame OG for being this aggressive. Yes, the trades could have been better. And it is quite uncharacteristic of OG to not go and trade out their teammates who fall like this. But it's just one round. It would hurt True Rippers more if they win a round and then lose one immediately than to just keep on losing all throughout.
1-7 is the scoreline, Crips, and this is where you really start to worry, man.
Yeah.
Even though they did win that round, how much of a difference is it going to make inside the game? Because the economy on the side of True Rippers, is, yeah, quite low. On the other hand, you talk about OG. These guys, they're super rich.
Placing alarm bot.
These True Rippers are rich with ultimates. Hunter's Fury, the Blade Storm, as well as the Resurrection available. But that's the problem. True Rippers are dying in spots where it's nearly impossible for them to resurrect somebody. Recon thought to clear out close vibes. This time OG are playing just like they should be. Taking everything step by step. Antidote pushes onwards towards spikes and places the lockdown, but that is not gonna be the hit at all. It baits out Ryu's Hunter's Fury, and that's exactly what Antidote wanted. He just wants to create a distraction while the rest of his team continues going towards the B site. But now that he's been killed and no other follow-up comes through, maybe True Rippers can figure out that this was all a ruse. They have done so. Rotations inbound. OG have a narrow timing window which they need to capitalize on and get the spike plant before the cavalry arrives.
Oh, 3 players still just stacked outside main, right? And they haven't really been able to find that sweet spot for themselves so far inside this round. True Rippers, they've been playing quite phenomenally well.
Revealing area.
And now finally, those 3 players will start to make some waves on the B site as Tesseract is going to push all the way deep up. And look at this play from them! Tesseract on top of the wall is able to find a lot of map control. He's also able to extend forward and get another kill in his hands. All the man advantage that was there, it's been taken away. On the close right side, it's going to be Raw Fuel. He's unexpected. Will catch the flank. True Rippers, they crumble apart. That one single brilliant play from side of OG where they let Tesseract on top of the wall, and he's also able to nullify that stage resurrection. What's going on, OG? No matter what ultimates you're going to be using in front of them, they're always able to find a cure to that.
Like I said, True Rippers have had that ultimate available since quite a long time, but all these players get resurrected in positions where it is just so difficult to keep them alive. Tesseract farming up his frags. He's got the Hunter's Fury available once more. And all that True Rippers are doing is backfiring against them time and time again. Like I said, it's gonna hurt True Rippers more if they win a round and then lose it, rather than just continue losing everything at the stretch.
It's just such a brilliant play.
Last player standing.
And honestly, it's just later on, even if he was able to get that 1 kill away, but still later on, it's just all the heroics of Tesseract, because his position was known, but he still managed to get 3 kills off of that lurk that he found for himself.
And OG are getting into these lurk positions so well, right? I mean, sometimes it's Tesseract, sometimes it's RBK, sometimes it doesn't even need to be a lurk. Sometimes it's just Aziz tearing things up on the front lines.
I really hate to say this, but right now, OG, they're just proving themselves as a superior team. They're just proving themselves. I mean, they're proving True Rippers unparalleled. Look at these shots that they're able to hit. Look at the duels they're able to win against True Rippers. It's honestly way much more than impressive.
Yeah, this is borderline scary. It is a statement that OG are trying to make over here. True Rippers might have defeated Velocity, but OG now want to prove that they are in a different league. You can't compare them to Velocity. Okay, a rare moment where you run out of bullets, but still not a problem.
Dude, Aziz is like a monster. This man's a demon.
Nah, man. Monsters at least make you scared. At least they scream in your face, they wave their big claws at you, and then they tear you up in gruesome ways. At one point it seemed gruesome, but now it just seems routine.
One to 9, Crips. Score line's really one-sided. We thought the first map was one-sided. We thought the first map was a steamroll, and then
Be faster.
OG is like, all right, we'll show you guys the definition of a steamroll, and this is way much more of a steamroll than the previous map, and they've also managed to nullify the impact of the operator. Aziz, this man is not whiffing any of the shots. He's connecting those shots straight to the dome of the opponents. And once again, OG, they get the site control quite easily in the hands.
Barrier are put towards the screens region once again. But
Right
you've
here.
got so many players stationed in that area. Aziz continues to stick over here near 410 instead of falling back with his teammates. And the teammates who do need to fall back, like Antidote and RVK,
Deploying
who are going to
drone.
play on the back of their nanoswarms or snake bites, are already in position. So by the time True Rippers deal with the frontliners, Aziz and the Sova, it will be a disaster. And Aziz is giving them these frags. Look at it. Does this seem like a monster to you? No. It seems like a man who's in a different dimension. Unparalleled. Uncontested.
Possessed.
Possessed even. Yeah. And not by an evil or malicious spirit. He's just possessed by a holy spirit over here. An embodiment of God himself.
No charges left.
Spike down.
But yeah, I mean, this is ruthless. I don't even know what to say. OG just fearlessly running away with the rounds. 10-1's the scoreline, ladies and gentlemen. And I think so 11-1 half is going to be on the board. But if you guys have got your tanks filled up with a lot of copium, then you might just see 11 come back.
True Rippers need much more than just copium. They need to overdose on their performance. Antidote, a rare miss, but that's okay because he's made his presence known towards mid. And now Disrupt is conflicted. Does he go back to assist on B? Does he continue holding mid? He will make a difficult choice. He tries to peek out of the toxin screen, hoping to deny the planter, but RVK's covering raw fuel. And things are falling apart for True Rippers. They're in shambles. And it's nearly impossible to piece together a jigsaw puzzle that has so many pieces missing. They don't even have the complete picture.
Last player standing.
True Rippers, look at what OG is doing, dude. Rafu's gonna shut down Kaizen 2 in the front, and now it's all down to Techno. I mean, he does manage to find one, but it's not gonna change the course of the first half. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a 11-1 half on our hands. And Crips, if you remember, I told you it's going to be a 2-0.
Okay, quick question. Have we ever seen an 11-1 half in this tournament? We've seen
No,
plenty
we
of
haven't.
9-3s, we've seen 10-2s, but I think this is the first 11-1.
It is the first 11-1. This is the biggest steamroll so far we've seen inside this entire tournament. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to push to a short break. We'll be right back with the second half.
Hit for my wins, I need my head. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the wins, I get it in.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Hit for my wins, I need my head. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the wins, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, into the second half. For the first half is 11-1. Get your copium tanks filled up, ladies and gentlemen, because True Rippers is going to make a comeback.
Oh, okay, a bold prediction. In fact, I think I was going to change something, you know, instead of saying welcome back to Valorant Challenges, I was going to say welcome back to the OG Horror Show. This is indeed a very scary approach from OG, and True Rippers are on the brink of death. They have looked very strong in this tournament so far, but to see them get rolled over like this, I'm kind of unsettled by all of this. Aziz continuing to stick around, and RBK fills up the kill
Spike
feed
down, B.
with just green.
Last player standing.
Techno with some classic burst is able to retaliate, but it only leaves Disrupt with a nearly impossible task to pull off. Antidote figures out where he is, and now he will join the rest of his team. Yeah, they're gonna face him head on.
Yeah. This is humiliation. This is literally humiliation. And now the upcoming round, they don't even have money to go for fours properly. But yeah, they will still try to buy whatever's possible, and they will still try to get whatever they can on the board. Crips, just if you didn't know, I mean, there was a little interview off OG, right? And they said if they were able to defeat a team like VLT, OG shouldn't be that easy to defeat. This is what one of the people of True Rippers said. And now, considering
Out of charges.
True Rippers is losing like this, we might see a little bit of stuff happening on the social media.
I mean, up until now, we thought that True Rippers have Icebox weeks because they were, you know, trying to go for some wild experimental compositions. Turns out sticking to standard composition is even worse, so Icebox is weak regardless of what agents you pick. Very awkward barrier output like this, and that's exactly what happens. Dogfood's playing on the last block of it. Techno's able to spray two of them down, but Aziz shuts him before he can gather up more steam.
Yeah. And once again, they've got a huge lead secured when it comes to the man advantage, and also when it comes to the scoreline, ladies and gentlemen. True Rippers, a true on-3 scenario. Next to impossible to overcome from this in this situation, and a loss for True Rippers at this point in time is inevitable. But still, this is the fight for the pride. If they're able to win this round, definitely will be an impressive statement being made from them. But let's see if that's going to be possible or not. Aziz already finds the opening. He's tasted the blood. The last man will fall down as well. And OG, they just dominate True Rippers.
Ripped to pieces, shredded to bits. Antidote doesn't even need to place his finger on his lips because the crowd was already silent on the side of True Rippers. A bold statement. A ridiculous scoreline. And OG, now that Velocity is out of the tournament, their prestige climbs higher and higher. And by defeating True Rippers, the team that was partially responsible for eliminating Velocity out of Split 1, OG have made a bold statement that they are not on the same paradigm. They're in a completely different dimension. Ahead of all that binds people to mortality.
OG, at this point in time, they've proven what they're capable of and what their caliber is. Undefeated run till the grand finals? That sounds next to impossible, but OG, they've made it happen. An undefeated run till the grand finals. They haven't dropped a single BO3 series so far inside Valorant Challenger South Asia. And OG, they make a remarkable performance happen once again against a team like True Rippers, who have taken down big giant teams like VLT.
This was indeed a difficult match for True Rippers to get over. But while we focus on the positives over here, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the first finalists of VCSA Split 1, Orangutan.
OG, they make and book their spot in the grand finals. Now, as we all know, True Rippers are going to be pushed all the way down to the lower brackets, and they're going to be facing God's Ring soon enough to find out who's going to be the second team to move up forward in the grand finals. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hit for my wins, I need my head. This life is real, can't play pretend. Hit multiple wins, I get it in. same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we